Alright, today we're talking Starfield. I know, I can't believe it either. But Starfield just got, honestly, a huge update. Easily the biggest update we've ever had for Starfield ever. And dare I say one of the biggest updates for any Bethesda game. Well, single player Bethesda game. Obviously Fallout 76 has had some pretty big updates, but for a single player Bethesda game, they usually don't get many big updates for the single player part of it. Usually that all comes through DLC, but this update is honestly ginormous, and actually might make me play Starfield again for the first time since maybe December. So I'm actually really excited for this, and we got tons of other stuff as well. Like they've announced stuff that's coming in the future. We've got land vehicles, new locations, DLC, and mod support, and way more. There's a lot of stuff. I'm going to cover both that. First, I'm going to talk what's coming in this new update, 1.11.33. What a great name, Bethesda, which is out today on some platforms. And I'll also discuss in the second half of this video what's coming later this year, such as new locations, land vehicles, DLCs, and tons of other cool stuff. Well, let's get started. So this is the 1.11.33 update. Again, it's out now on PC only, and only if you bought the game on Steam. If you're on Steam, you can right-click, click Properties, click Betas, and then you can download the Starfield beta. If you don't have the game on Steam and you own it on PC Game Pass or the Microsoft Store, or you play on Xbox, you have to wait 2 weeks. This is how they do it. On the 15th of May, well, it should be the 15th of May. In 2 weeks' time, it'll release for Xbox Series XS and PC Game Pass. It sucks, but this is how they can test it and make sure there's no bugs and stuff, so it's better they do it this way. But the first big change, customizable difficulty. This is huge. I don't think we've ever seen anything like this in a Bethesda game before. You can now, the biggest change here is you can change all the difficulty things, make combat harder, space combat, so if you think maybe ground combat's too easy, but space combat's too hard, you can make ground combat super hard, and make your space difficulty super easy, so, that's amazing. You can change, if ammo, it has, carry weight, for example. The biggest one for me, though, is you can make vendors have more money. This is huge. If you're a Bethesda fan, you've played Skyrim, Oblivion, Fallout, you know how annoying it is when you're trying to sell something and the vendor has 100 gold and you're trying to sell something for that's 1,000. For example, Skyrim, when you kill your first dragon, you got the dragon bones and scales, and you go to the vendor in Whiterun, he's got 200 gold, and you're so you have to run around the whole map selling your stuff. You can now increase the vendors or decrease how much money. But if you decrease that, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little scared of you because my one problem is that they never have enough money. You can have to eat food to survive. So if you like Fallout 4 survival mode, now it's not as hardcore as Fallout 4 survival mode. You can still add the option that you have to eat food to survive. You can make aim assist, increase aim assist, or decrease aim assist if you want to be harder on controller. And there's tons more. You can see it on screen right now. Look at all these options. There's so much you can do, and I really like this over just a simple, easy, medium, hard. This is so good. Another big one is finally, after all these months, from launch, we finally have good maps. At launch, the game got ridiculed pretty hard for its map system. You open the map, and it's I don't know what this is. It's really that bad. But this is what maps look like now. These surface maps are incredible. They genuinely look really good. And if the game launched like this, nobody would be making fun of it. I can't lie, I'm excited because this is really cool. It makes, opening the map a little bit more useful, which I didn't do once, I think, in the entire playthrough. I think I opened it once, saw how bad it was, and never used the map ever again. I'm glad that we got this, but this should have been like this at launch. The next one is ship decoration. This is really cool. So now you can obviously build your ship, and that was really cool. But now you can build your ship and decorate it. So now you build your ship, build it however you want to do, and then enter it. You can enter a mini building mode, kind of like how you build a settlement in Fallout 4 or build an outpost in Starfield. You can now open that kind of mini, kind of cut down version of that where you can decorate your ship to make it more unique to you as a player, and I really like that. This is really cool. Again, something I'd like to have seen at launch, but I'll leave it alone. Next one, New Game Plus. I'm not going to spoil the story reasons for New Game Plus, but if you have unlocked New Game Plus and you know what that is, you can now actually change your traits and appearance. So now when you do the thing to start New Game Plus, you can actually change your character's appearance and change their traits. For example, you can have parents in this New Game Plus when you didn't have them in your first playthrough. It's cool. I'm happy this is here because I personally find New Game Plus just kind of boring. You can get different versions of the universe, which is cool, but the New Game Plus differences aren't enough to make me play through the game. I'd rather just start from level 1, to be honest, and just start all over again, but that's just me. but it's cool that they're actually tweaking New Game Plus to give it a little bit more reason to play through it. For those console users, Xbox Series X users can now access 60 FPS modes, meaning yes, if you're on the Xbox Series X, you can now play Starfield at 60 FPS, so it's going to feel super smooth. Now you're going to have to choose between 4K 30 FPS at max settings, or, now this is just a guess, but I'm going to guess around 1080p, 1440p, 60 FPS with around medium settings. So you're going to see a decent graphical hit. Bethesda say you're going to have, lower resolution, lower crowd density, so less people around the streets, lower lighting, lower special effects, and more are reduced on the performance mode, so it can hit 60 FPS. I'm going to guess around 1080p 60 is probably what we're looking at. However, if you have a super fancy monitor or TV, and you have VRR, variable rate refresh, you can actually play on the quality mode and have your frame rate uncapped. So maybe when the frame rate goes into like the 40s and 50s, but it might dip like down to the 30s. But if you have this thing called VRR, you'll have to Google it for your TV because, lots of TVs have it, but usually modern TVs and monitors have it, but not older ones. But you'll have to kind of Google it to see if your display supports it. You can basically play on the graphics quality mode and have like higher frame rate, so it'll feel smoother. So yeah, really cool that the Series X users can now access 60 FPS on this game. However, the big thing is I keep saying Series X because Bethesda on the blog posts just say Series X, so I think it's pretty likely that yes, if you're on an Xbox Series S or playing for Xbox Cloud Gaming, you will probably not be able to access 60 FPS, you'll probably be stuck on the standard 1440p 30 FPS mode. So that's unfortunate, but again, it's the budget console or the cloud gaming version that, doesn't allow that. The cloud gaming version might have 60 FPS, it's just because I'm pretty sure the cloud gaming version runs the Series S version of the game, I'm pretty sure. I think I've seen it for other games, it runs the Series S version, so if that's how you're playing the game, you might have some problems that you'll be stuck at 30 FPS. Last but not least, I didn't actually see this mentioned anywhere, but in the patch notes, there's some small graphics upgrades for the game. Nothing crazy, but they say that depth of field should look a little bit better, lighting and shadows under trees should look a little bit better, so when you're under tree, the lighting and shadows should look a bit better. Wind direction's been improved, so like the wind should just look better, like trees swaying and bushes and grass. Rain should also look a little bit better. And yeah, it's just small tweaks, but it's nice to see that they're continuing to kind of tweak and make the graphics just look a little bit better with every update. Now, let's move on to the super exciting stuff. We've got new locations, we've got land vehicles, and we got so much other cool stuff to talk about. Let's get started. Let's start with the big one that we got to see today with this big new update. They showed us a small teaser of land vehicles. You can see it here. It feels unbelievable. A Bethesda game that has drivable vehicles on land. It literally seems impossible, but they've actually done it. We're actually going to be able to drive something. It kind of looks like a moon rover or something. And to be fair, in the clip, it seems like it's going relatively fast, which I'm kind of excited about. I've just got so many questions. Like, how does this work? Like, how do we get the vehicle? Do we like throw like a flare and it drops them from space? Does it drive out our ship? Because it looks small enough that it might just be able to drive out the ship, like on our landing bay. Maybe you have to get a different landing bay. Maybe you pick a different one that has the vehicle inside it, and you just drive down the ramp. It kind of looks like it'd be small enough for that. So maybe. Next up, we actually got a first look at the Shattered Space DLC. We've known about this DLC for a very long time now. I believe since last year, 2023 June, we've known about this DLC. Comes with the digital premium edition. If you bought that, you get that DLC for free. So if you did buy that for the early access, you already own the DLC, which is pretty cool. We got this cool little teaser of a location that is very clearly from the DLC because there is nothing in the game that looks like this. It looks almost like something out of like the Elder Scrolls. I wouldn't be surprised if they said, oh, this is from the Elder Scrolls 6 because it looks so weird and creative and I really, really like it. So that is good sign to me because, I think Starfield, I like the kind of NASA punk kind of, not too like sci-fi design. They've also tried to keep things kind of looking very realistic looking. NASA punk is kind of the art style where it kind of looks what could be realistic to like real life. Though I'm curious how the locations will work. I'm kind of curious, is it going to be one planet with tons of different locations we can visit? Or is it going to be all across the galaxy but with these different locations scattered across? I'm curious how they're going to do that. We also have a couple more images that I'm not 100% sure if it's from the DLC, but I'm going to include them because I could not recognize them from the base game. If I'm wrong, I imagine somebody will correct me in the comments. But yeah, I believe these two images are from the DLC, because I don't recognize any of these. One of these kind of looks like Aquila City, but I can't really see anything like this in the base game, so maybe Aquila City is going to get like a upgrade with Shattered Space. If this is coming with Shattered Space, this might be something else. And the other one looks, I'm pretty confident that one's definitely new, but not 100% on that. Another one we got a little bit before this big update dropped. Todd Howard did confirm that Shattered Space launches later this fall. I'm gonna guess around the 1 year anniversary mark in September, but that's not confirmed. He just said fall or autumn, depending which way you want to say it. Yeah, I think this is kind of interesting. They're spending a super long time on it. I think it's probably because they're updating the game with stuff like land vehicles. I'm going to guess this is probably taking a lot of development time, a lot of resources, a lot of developers, to the point where, they're probably going to have Shattered Space near the end of 2024 instead of, rushing it out now and it be buggy and broken and nobody likes it. Instead of just take their time and work on it and polish it up and make it good. Another thing we saw is some new spacesuits. Can't really see it because they're not textured, but you can see they're modeling some new spacesuits and they're like drawing it and stuff. That looks pretty cool. And last but not least, but maybe one of the biggest things we've all been waiting for, is according to Todd Howard, the Creation Kit, which of course allows the big mods to be made and also allows Xbox players and PC Game Pass players to get access to mods. It's coming, hopefully. It is coming because they've given it to some modders. There is some modders on, some I guess people who are making mods for Starfield right now using, because you can make mods, but obviously you can't make like the huge mods we're kind of used to, like for like Fallout and Skyrim. They've given the creation kit to some of those modders, so they're actually using it, which is really exciting because it means that we probably must be close, I'm kind of guessing that probably means we're maybe a couple months away. I would like to say a couple months away from it. I'm kind of hoping at the recently announced Xbox Games Showcase, hoping Microsoft and Bethesda might announce, oh, mod support out now. It's like a big, massive, surprise shadow drop or something. The dates kind of line up for when we expect Starfield updates, so I'm kind of hoping, but who knows. Regardless, hopefully we'll see mod support before Shattered Space. If not, it'll probably come with Shattered Space, which I think is the worst case scenario. I hope we don't have to wait a full year from launch just to get mod support on console. That would really suck. Anyway, that's all I've really got to say about Starfield. I'm feeling optimistic about Starfield, you know what I mean? I personally quite liked the game when it came out. Didn't think it was revolutionary or set the world on fire, but I liked the game. It was everything I wanted, which was just, honestly, like Fallout or Skyrim in space, and I got what I wanted. I liked what I played, wasn't my favorite game by any means, but I liked what I played. This is good, I've been kind of feeling like, man, maybe Bethesda actually are done with this game, because we've never had a big update. All the updates have been small, cool stuff, like lighting changes and bug fixes and stuff, but this is the first update we've got where, damn, it feels like they're really trying to make this game the best they can possibly make it, which I'm excited about. And obviously Shattered Space is sounding really cool. I can't wait for that. I think that's going to be really cool this autumn. But regardless, kind of going on a tangent there. That's all we've got to say about the Starfield update. I've been the Intel, and I hope you have a lovely day.